Hey guys, how are you? It's your boy M.K.S here, back in another video. It took me a while to get around to being motivated enough to make this video, but yeah, I've been procrastinating a lot. But anyway, as it is the 13th or A13th, and due to my superstitions, I thought I'd talk about some of my more self ideas as about Italian football. I know I do cover a lot about Italian football, but another thing I was thinking earlier was there were a few scary videos that I was looking at on YouTube on my big TV at home. Uh, and I was going to do like reaction videos to those videos, but I decided I should probably ask for permission, excuse me, from the content creators of those videos before I upload them. So hopefully next 13th, next month, which I think is on a Saturday, I hope to cover those videos and like do reaction videos on them with the content creators' permission. But this also reminded me of the fact that I wanted to do more reaction videos. Like in the past, one of the things I'd love to be able to do, one of the things I'd love to do is do reaction videos to all possible, basically react to all possible videos, especially on YouTube itself. I'm not sure whether I would do it on Facebook because I don't want to get like banned from my Facebook or like get be put in Facebook jail by censor book or whatever, as I might call it nowadays. But anyway, yeah, I'd love to react to as many videos as possible, possibly on Facebook, but and certainly on YouTube if I can, especially with content creators' permission. Like I talked about share for share or like for like, but maybe we could do like react for react. So if you want to react to any of my videos, I could, and let me do the same for yours. Please let me know in the comment section. But yeah, I'd love to react to videos like scary videos or different type of videos. Sorry, excuse me. Yeah, so different genres, as many videos, excuse me, as many videos as possible, basically. But yeah, so I'd love to, as I say, react to videos, like including scary videos, funny videos, or anything like that, especially on like the 13th of each month, as I have these superstitions and patterns and habits and things like that, as I say. So yeah, reacting to scary videos, but I'll probably have a disclaimer on them, like saying only watch them if you're interested in scary videos or stuff like that. So yeah, sorry, yeah, freaked out myself here. But yeah, so I was thinking of reacting to them. I was watching some of them, and then I decided not to watch them for a while because I thought if a lot of time I do find scary videos quite interesting, even though I'm easily scared. But I think if I react to them too early, I won't be as surprised so it won't be like a fresh sort of reaction, which is what I want to kind of do. But anyway. I think that's covered everything for there. So yeah, I love to react to scary videos or videos generally, funny ones, cute ones, or whatever other ones. And also, as I say, about back to yeah, and videos generally, but especially with the content creators' permission. But back to the topic of this video, basically, yeah, Torino, as a fan of Italian football generally, I made a video of this on my Facebook. Anyone who's on my Facebook who might have seen that will know, of course, if they've seen that one. But yeah, so basically, I would love for Tesla, Toyota, and Tata, perhaps, and maybe other companies that begin with T, especially, or companies generally, to invest in Torino, and it was. Excuse me. Back in May the 4th, 1949, unfortunately, Torino went through the Superga air disaster, if I pronounced it correctly, where all 31 passengers on board, unfortunately died in that air crash. And to get some of the negatives out of the way, but Torino were a superb team. Like they're probably one of the best teams, not just in Italy or even in Europe, but even around the world. So yeah, unfortunately, obviously that. I mean, I don't think I'd wish anyone to be involved in an air crash. Maybe Hitler or someone like that, or Bin Laden or someone as evil as that. I might wish something like that for them, perhaps, if anyone. But I certainly don't wish for pretty much anyone to go through. In fact, to go through something like that. But obviously, that's what Torino have in common with Man United as well, who went through the Munich disaster, unfortunately. And I'm no fan of Man United, but I don't wish for that to happen to anyone, especially people just innocent footballers doing their jobs or whatever, anyone doing their jobs, um, footballers or otherwise. But yeah, so obviously that's a terrible tragedy that happened for 31 people and their families, and obviously those involved in the football club who might have looked up to them as idols as well, and also obviously for the success of Torino. But obviously, people will probably say that's secondary to, although some people say football is more than a game for life and death, but or is a game for life and death. Um, but yeah, so they were probably the best team in the world, maybe, or at least one of them. I'd love to read what football fans, especially Italian football fans, and in particular fans of Torino, think about this video and about Torino, and any facts or figures or information like the colour of the kit, um, what Torino means for you, what the logo means, what any facts about the club, what name means in English, what the club means to you, what any facts basically about the club, like say what colour the kit is, or again what the logo means, the history behind it, and all sorts of things like that. Although I suppose people could Google it. So I hope to help Italian teams like Torino to trend. But I love Italian football teams generally, like AC Milan, Inter Milan, Juventus, Torino, and all the rest. Even though they're rivals, I love for Italian teams to have as much money as possible. But yeah, I'll say the reason why I mentioned I'm sorry, I do jump from point to point, but the reason why I mentioned the Superga air disaster, which happened, I calculated 74 years this year, I think it was, that it happened. This year on 4th of May will be the 74th anniversary. Anyone can correct me if they know any information that I get wrong, if you know about that. But yeah, if I got the dates wrong and you find out, obviously you'd have to know yourself. But you can correct me on that. But as far as I'm aware, as I say, it was 74 years ago. I'm terrible at maths, so I had to get my calculator out to do that. My calculator on my phone, a very basic phone. But yeah, so I was thinking, what if this year on the 23rd, on the 4th of May, if as far as I'm aware, it would be 74 years since that terrible disaster. But what if something positive kind of came from it? I know it's only football, but what if, although football to me, you might be able to tell is like life and death to me, but on a serious note, like what if, hopefully my jokes aren't too morbid, but yeah, what if, apparently there are more important things in football, but yeah, what if on that date, the 4th of May 2023, Torino could get investment from all possible companies, such as especially Tesla, Toyota, Torino, and possibly other companies, especially ones that begin with T, maybe local businesses from that side of Turin, the council, the politicians, and others like investing into the club, and maybe even like places or countries that begin with T, even like Tripoli perhaps, and so on and so forth, investing in Torino, and maybe even Torino having a partnership with Toronto, again places that begin with T, and that kind of thing, having as many investors and shareholders as possible, maybe even like the Toronto Council or politicians in Toronto and other places that begin with T, like Tripoli, as I say, and countries like Turkey or Tunisia, and that sort of thing. But yeah, so I'd love to see like what people think about that, or read what people think. Hopefully, people won't be too harsh. I was saying in the comments, hopefully, if Juventus or other such fans comment, hopefully they won't be too harsh about Torino, putting rivalries aside even if they do say something they dislike about Torino, hopefully they will do so in a tasteful manner. But again, as I often say, it's like freedom of speech, so you can write what you want. But as I say, as a lover of Italian football generally, as well as Celtic, I would love to see Italian teams in Celtic, excuse me, get as much money as possible. Um, but yeah, since Torino were such a successful team in the 30s and possibly even a part of the 40s, when Italy won the second and third World Cup, many of their players, most of their players, in fact, were, or certainly a good section of them, were from one particular club, which was Torino. A bit like when England won the World Cup, with many of the players being from West Ham. So a lot of West Ham fans say effectively West Ham won the World Cup. But I think 10 of the 11 starting players were from Torino. Not sure how many of the squad players, but since then they haven't been as successful, and they've kind of been in the shadow of their rivals Juventus. As I love Italian football generally, I'd love to see all possible Italian teams as much have as much investment as possible, and have the best possible players, coaches, managers, youth academies, and things like that, development, youth coaches and managers, and things like that. Again, players youth level as well, and playing at least three under 20, um, excuse me, three under 20 one players as well, um, and so I lost my train of thought again. But yeah, so I know I do jump from point to point, but yeah, I would love for yeah, I think it'd be interesting to see if Torino were a bit like would be a bit like Man City, where they were always in the shadow of Man United, like winning so much, seeing them winning so many trophies, and now they've got these wealthy owners, the City Group, I put quotation marks for some reason, but yeah, from Abu Dhabi, I think. Now they've got this investment, they are probably quite far ahead of their rivals who were so well ahead of them before, so it's like changed position. So maybe I mean it would be interesting if Torino had like the best possible investment, the best possible academies, infrastructure, goalkeeper, defenders, or goalkeepers, like including squad players, goalkeepers, defenders, midfielders, and strikers, as many of them as possible, including on the bench, obviously, as many of them as they're allowed, of course. But yeah, so including on the sub bench as well. But I'd love for all Italian teams, including Juventus, even though they're rivals, AC Milan, Inter Milan, and the rest of the Italian teams, to have that those kind of players and that kind of squad, those kind of squads. Sorry. But yeah, I'd love to read what you think, as I say, and if you want to do any reaction videos. Sorry, my voice is going a bit out. I think I have COVID, but I thought obviously I've got nothing else to do, so I might as well make videos and stuff like that. And hopefully, stay as upbeat and positive as possible. But yeah, I do enjoy making videos as well as watching them. But so yeah, I try and enjoy it as much as possible, and it's what I want to do for a living if I can. So yeah, I would say it'd be great. Also, I knew there's something else forgetting. Yeah, so like if Tesla, Toyota, and Torino and Tata, sorry, invested in Torino, one thing I think would be cool if they have the names like Tesla-Torino was like a nickname, Toyota-Torino, Tata-Torino, and that kind of thing. Especially, and also like hopefully the club will benefit through that increased investment in buying the best possible players, best possible manager, coaches, players, coaching staff, playing staff, academies, especially for the future of town football and that kind of thing. So as much investment as possible for all things that a football team needs to advance in the future, for the benefit of Torino, and Italian football generally as well, bringing the best possible, I'd say, managers, coaches, and players to Italian football. I think would be pretty cool. Players like Haaland, Mbappe, and others. That would be pretty cool. I would say Messi and Ronaldo. That'd be pretty cool to see like Ronaldo coming back and Messi coming to Serie A. But I would have loved that to have happened a few years ago when they were a bit younger. I know Ronaldo did play for Juventus, but I think he was coming towards the end of his sort of peak at that time because Juventus spent so much money on him. I think they didn't have enough to bolster the whole team and the whole squad to build around him as well. So he didn't have the creativity that he needed to peak and to reach his potential there as well. So especially at his age, like as he was getting on a bit when he came to Juventus. So, but yeah, I'd love for Tesla to have like academies and sports clubs in America for Torino if they invested, and also Toyota to do the same in Japan, and Tata to do the same in India, and that could build like cultural exchanges where Torino players, academy players, especially from Turin and across Italy, went to in and across Italy, went to America, Japan, and stroke or India respectively, and vice versa. They came to Italy and like so, yeah, they practiced together and trained together and that kind of thing. So hopefully there'll be some sort of mutual benefit, as I say, for those countries as well, especially India and Japan, and also the US, and but yeah, especially India and Japan, as I say, and yeah, perhaps they could build links with each other and network together as well if they invest and have shares or equity in an Italian club like Torino. But yeah, I hope it'll benefit Italian football from a selfish point of view, I'd say. As I thought I'd cover something selfish as it's the 13th, or technically it was the 13th. But yeah, so Yeah, I'm sure there's something else I was going to say, but I lost my train of thought, and I know I've waffled on enough. So, anywho, I am out. Peace and love.